I like watching movies, and sometimes I like to talk about them for long periods of time, and others I like to talk about for a little bit. Sometimes. I even say something long, and sometimes I say something short. This new series is to say something short about a bunch of movies. The movies I cover here may or may not get a long episode from Movies from the Deep, but they're always in my heart. And these particular films have a lot to say about how people are shaped by their environments. So come vibe with me on Impressions from Beneath.
A soldier must hold his position in battle. A commander must know this about his men. The way a man handles himself in daily life is a good indication of the soldier's performance in battle.
I got this cool box set of Criterion films recently called Melvin van Peebles Essential Films. This was a big deal because I've been a fan of Sweetback's badass song for a long time, but I'd never seen any other Melvin van Peebles films. They included his first 4 feature films in his set, and so far I've watched 2. The first is his 1967 film, The Story of a 3-Day Pass, about a black American GI stationed in France who's explicitly told not to mingle with any white women on his leave. Of course, he does. But it's actually a sweet story about a chance romantic encounter that doesn't have any hope of lasting. See, while Europe isn't as racist towards black people as America at this time, racism is still there. Our protagonist cannot just simply shed his baggage from America either.
Y señor Negrito.
It keeps bubbling up.
Comprende? Understand?
And the army base proves to be the omnipresent, looming specter of prejudice.
I was sure I could trust you. I did trust you, and you failed me.
However, it pays more attention to the romance than it does to the politics. This guy is a guy and this lady is a lady, and they have real chemistry. It shows it genuinely, palpably. So when the problems arrive, you really feel it. The next is Watermelon Man, directed in 1970 with the backing of an American studio this time. It likely got made because of the Easy Rider effect. When studio executives were so baffled by the new wave of cinema, they were more likely to greenlight unusual projects. But this project still can't exist without tenacity, and Melvin van Peebles is tenacious. He's a playwright, producer, director, and musician who made nuanced films about the black experience when it was not cool to. So here we have Watermelon Man, where one day a broad parody of a white guy wakes up in a living hell as a black man. It's because of Godfrey Cambridge's amazing performance that we sympathize. Like, he goes from playing a whimsically bigoted white insurance salesman to calling out subtle and not at all subtle bigotry around him.
Oh my God, if I hurt you.
You're such a great bang, but you're a bigot, Erica. A big, blonde bigot.
He does an amazing job pulling us into his radical shift of lived experience.
I sent the kids to my sister's.
Your sister lives in Indianapolis.
It's used as an entry point to viscerally sympathize and get angry at the injustice he faces, hopefully beyond the 100 minutes of the movie. Hanging Garden. It's a 2005 Japanese film directed by Toshiaki Toyoda. This guy is a bit more wild than we usually hear. In 2005, he was given a suspended 3-year jail sentence due to possession of drugs, and in 2019, he was briefly arrested for possession of a firearm. These are both particularly big deals in Japan. However, the firearm was a non-working antique from his father, so he was cleared of that. But that's just his life. Hanging Garden also does not play by the rules. It's this wonderful, brutally honest movie about a family just trying to hold it together. They have a rule. The family has no secrets.
ねえ、私ってさ、どこで仕込まれたの？
仕込む？
命を授けられた場所。出生決定現場。
ああ、ラブホテル。
どこの？
野ざる。
野猿?
But they all have secrets. The biggest, most complex is the mother, Eriko. She has repressed trauma from her childhood, all stemming from her mother, Sachin, who is now in failing health and tends to gaslight her. The scenes where it addresses Eriko's relationship with Sachin are powerful and heartbreaking.
子供がいると時間の流れがゆっくりでさ、生活がきちんと回り出すから、必要なものは何でも手に入る。やり直し、繰り返し。
母親はね、子供を愛して、肯定して、大切に育てて、いらない憎しみや悪意からちゃんと守ってあげて。
It shows just how fragile Eriko's state of mind has become, always teetering on a break with reality. The cinematography supports this beautifully by rocking back and forth, twirling and distorting everyday occurrences to seem unsettling and to echo that traumatized state. The most incredible part is that despite that unsettling style, this film is genuinely warm. It loves its characters and lets you know whatever coping mechanisms they have developed are not done in spite of their own family, but to keep it together, to attempt to honor what they currently have. Lucky Chan Sil is a lovely 2019 Korean comedy directed by Cho Hee about a movie producer who loses her job because the director she was working for dies unexpectedly.
저는 원래 영화 프로듀서였는데 망했어요.
망하셨구나.
It seems autobiographical. Kim produced films for Sang Soo, an established independent director who has been making films since the 90s, though he is still alive and making movies. Kim's film is similar in style. The shots are usually wide and move just a little, maybe. The humor is deadpan and the writing is sharp, but it feels warmer than Hong's. So ChanSil is trying to find purpose, but she needs to make money. She starts doing house cleaning for her actress friend and meets her French teacher, and the romance may be starting up.
우리 술 한잔 할래요?
It gets complicated. The film is more interested in addressing her newfound freedom to define her purpose. So it goes further than find a boo. It's awkward. It's funny.
너무 생각을 많이 했나?
왜 그러세요?
모기가 있네요. 아직도.
But mostly melancholic. She's acutely aware of how much life has passed her by.
연애를 해, 연애를.
I mean, filmmaking is no joke. You probably already know the hours are long and it will take up every ounce of a person's energy. Some people even die because they work too much. The film treats it like a host has been released from her body. However, that melancholy is still there, but it's realistically hopeful.
더 세게 하나 주세요. 덥고. 아야.
Are You in the House Alone is a TV horror movie written by Judith Parker, made in 1978 about a teenager who is stalked and raped. It's a social issue film that talks about misogyny, sexual violence, and economic issues. It centers around Gail, played by Kathleen Beller, a normal teenager with a photography passion and an interest in boys.
Great. When are you going to see him again? 10 minutes. Lunch today. Not lunch. I mean a real date. I don't know. Will hasn't asked me yet.
As she starts dating Steve, she receives disturbing phone calls and notes in her locker.
Look at this. It was sticking out of my locker.
But that's not the only focus. What I like is there's a whole world around her. Her parents are busy figuring out how to keep the family financially afloat and keeping her out of it to the best of their ability.
You cannot pretend that nothing has changed. It is necessary because I am not going to stand here and let our lives fall apart.
But as the plot progresses, Gail becomes increasingly paranoid, and her interest in photography shifts from a passionate young artist discovering her way to an obsessive investigator combing for answers. Because every single adult, friend, and even her boyfriend brush off her concerns.
And he sure has been acting weird lately.
Yeah, but he thinks I'm a prude. Why would he bother?
Gail, did you tell me everything that happened between you and EK?
You can't help me, forget it.
We know from the outset that she will be raped. The film starts with her in the hospital, so it lays out these scenarios to illustrate the severity of the issue beforehand. They catch the culprit, but it ends on a cynical note to highlight injustices that we're still experiencing today.
After it was all over, I asked Jessica how come the law protects the rapist and not the victim. And she said, because the system is wrong.
So there you have it, some neat movies, shortly described, all about economic and social issues and how they shape people in society. Not a small topic, I know, but the world of film is so rich and there's so much to discover that these films are tremendously illuminating pieces of art that honestly portray their subjects. They're worth your time. Thanks for watching.